Hi, it's Dr. Jones, and today we're going to talk about binary pixels. Did you know the computer only understands zeros and ones? How does the computer understand all the things that we do when we interact with the machine? Well, it takes your binary code and converts it into things that we can understand. That happens using a chip. But today we're only going to talk about the basics of how binary works. And we're going to take a look at it through understanding pixels. And pixels are a part of our screen. They're the little tiny boxes that we can't really see on our screen that when they all come together, make a visual image. So we're going to dig in today and look at how binary images are made. So let's first take a look at what is a binary image. Take a look here. On the right-hand side of my screen is a white block and a black block. When you put those two together, that's how your binary image starts to take shape. We use zeros for white and 1 for black. And that way we can code to tell somebody else how to make this image. 0, 1, 1, 0. So what is binary? Binary is defined as a way of representing only using two options. So I want you to think about this. 0, 1, on, off, yes, no. Binary means two, and it's the core of how a computer understands information. Let's take a quick look at a video.
So each team, the person who's instructing, that's the person who's holding the paper, has to figure out what their off symbol is going to be and what their on symbol is going to be.
I said 0, which means you fill in this box. But if I say 1, then you don't fill it in.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the black ones are going to be 1 and the white ones are going to be 2. Okay, ready? Okay. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2.
So in binary, it's kind of like an alphabet with two letters. Like having A and B be your entire alphabet, but you've got a 0 and a 1. The most common way that you use binary is in an if statement. It's a classic thing from programming. The program runs along and it says, if something is true, then do this, or it's not true, and you do something else. You know, what if you want to do something maybe a little more complicated? Like instead of an if statement, you want to work with something like an image or a sound in a computer. Now, a computer only knows binary, but an image, you know, it's not binary, it's not ones and zeros. So how do you do that? So here's an example. So we have this beautiful picture. Now, a picture is basically a form of information, and all information can be encoded in binary in one way or another. You just have to figure out how to do it. So with this picture, what we're first going to do is, this all happens in your imagination mostly, and then you translate your imagination into code. So you imagine that we're going to put a grid over this panda bear. And for each square, we're going to decide whether that square is more black or more white. And then we're going to color it that way accordingly. So now each cell in the grid is either black or white. And then the black squares, we say those are zeros, binary digit, and the white squares are ones, the other binary digit. And then at the end, you're left with just a bunch of ones and zeros. And that's how you represent this image in binary.
So pretty cool, right? So how can we do this on our own? Well, we're going to do this as well. We're going to talk about creating our own binary images. But again, here are some good examples about what binary is. On, off, up, down, yes, no. In the image over to the right, which I mentioned earlier, is the picture. In our image, we're going to say that white is 0 and black is 1. So if we were to code this image, we would write 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0. And that's how we would code it. And then someone could code that in or color it in on a grid themselves. So let's give it a try. Here's what I'd like for you to do. I need you to take out 2 pieces of paper. So I've got 2 pieces of white paper right here, but it could be notebook paper or construction paper, whatever works best for you. On one side of the paper, I would like for you to draw a grid that looks like so. It should have 4, I need to add one more over here, 4 lines or 4 boxes across the top, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes going down. And we need to draw 2 of them, 1 on either side. So I'm going to draw my second box as you are drawing yours. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's okay if they're not perfect. So here is my 2, right? You can see the 2 of them together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to fold this piece of paper in half, just like so. And remember, whatever piece of paper you have is just fine. I'm going to continue to draw this. Here's your piece of paper, like so. I just took one piece of paper and folded it in half. Now, what I would like for you to do is now we are going to draw our own image. I want you to think about what kind of image do you want to draw? Could it be a rocket ship, a letter C, or could it be a letter N? Could it be a letter S, or is it a smiley face? What would you like to color? And what you're going to do is create your own image. So we're going to do on one side of our piece of paper, we're going to color in our binary image. Now, here are some examples that you could do. So as you think about it, you can start doing a little bit of coloring in across the top. Let's say you want all of them across the top to be colored. You can see that I'm beginning to color here. And maybe I am going to make, let's see, I think maybe I might make the letter N. But I'm going to do it starting with the second row. I'm going to kind of come down here, and then I'm going to come back up. All right, you can kind of see it in here, but I've written the letter N going down and across like so, okay? And I'm going to color those in so they look a little better. Now realize that I know that my pen is purple, and that it's not black, but the image on a screen of a computer is really black and white. So it's okay if you use a different color, just as long as you know how to color in the squares versus, I think I'm gonna come down a little bit further on that. So now I've got my image colored in, and I have done an N, although it might not exactly look like an N, but that was my goal. You can choose one yourself as well. Okay. So once you have your image, I want you to take this piece of paper and put it down next to you and pick up your second sheet of paper. Now remember, this could be a Post-it note or a piece of notebook paper, whatever paper you have available. All right? And now what I want to do is now I'm going to create what is called an algorithm. The algorithm is going to represent the colors or the shape or the image here that I have made. Remember that black is 1 and white is 0. So on this piece of paper, you can see here that I've written my algorithm based on the image, that I drew going across the top here on my computer. But I also drew one here. So I'm going to write on my piece of paper on my first line, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Now, what I've done is I've simply taken my image and I have written it in code next. Remember that blacks are 1 and whites are 0. So wherever there is a black, I wrote the numeric 1. And when there was a white, I wrote the numeric 0. And this is my algorithm. An algorithm are steps you take to complete a task. Now, we've got a second piece of paper here that has our algorithm. We still have our piece of paper with our image on it. Now what we want to do is share this with a friend. Let's see if our friends can complete the algorithm that we have created. So what we're going to do is take our side of paper that has the blank grid on it, and I would like for you to share with a friend. Now, this could be done by holding it up to the screen, or you could even type it into the chat window. But I'm going to hold it up like so. And what I would ask for you to do is to try and color in the algorithm that you see. with the zeros and the ones. And remember, you're going to use the other side of the piece of paper that has the grid to color in. Let's see if you guys can actually create what your classmates have created. Now, let's see this in action on our computers. So how do we take this concept of drawing and actually put it to work on our computer? Well, there's a couple of different ways. One is we see it every day when we're looking at our computer screen. Binary code is mixing with our pixels on a regular basis. But we're going to create some images for fun using something called pixel art. And pixel art allows us to take the same concept and put it on our computers. So what I'm going to ask you to do is go to pixelart.com/draw. I think if you just type in pixel art, it'll take you there. But we're going to do pixelart.com/draw. And what it does is brings up a pixelated image of binary. Now you see that there's white and gray here, which is similar to the piece of zeros and ones. And what I want you to do is I would like for you to recreate your drawing, or you could do a new one if you want to, of a binary image. So you're going to take your pencil tool in the upper left-hand corner. And I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rocket ship. Well, I'm going to attempt to draw a rocket ship. All right. I want you to practice. Now notice that as you're drawing, the image is populating in your squares that are coming. You see them pop. Look as I'm drawing. The squares are populating with color, which is black in this particular image. And then I've got my image. So now what I've done is I've taken several different binary pieces, zeros and ones, and the pixels, and brought them together to make a more formulated image. A little more formulated than what we drew. But you can see the pixels very much stand out, and that's how our computer understands images. So once you've completed this, I'd like for you to save the drawing. You're going to give it a title and a description and save. And you can download it as a PNG or a GIF image to upload to your particular course to show off your great work. Now, think about this. You can have a lot of fun drawing lots of cool images. And actually, pixel art even lets you put this image on a t-shirt or a cell phone case if you really love your image. So let's go back to the beginning and review just very quickly. Binary. Binary is the introduction or is the language of the computer. It is based on zeros and ones. Binary means 2. And when we create images on the computer, they're done so by using pixels. And that binary code comes together to make it look more like a real image. I hope you've enjoyed creating these awesome images, and I can't wait to see what you create on your computer. So you're going to do this drawing first, and then you're going to go to Pixel Art and draw your own and share with your classmates. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you next time.